So now continually we have to be come to an end of that Q learning. So now we have to see one example of that Q learning. So now we are having that matrix Q and set that gamma value for the 0.8 and now initialize the matrix Q to the 0 matrix. So initial Q matrix that has been 0. Now we created that is an action matrix. For the rooms we have to be reach out to the destination, and then first iteration on the first episode the action matrix that has been devised. So now from the state 1 the agent can go to either for the 3 or the 5. So now we consider, let's choose 5. From 5 we have to be compute the maximum Q value to go for the destination. So the next state based on all possible actions. So what is that? Already we learned the formula Q of state comma action equal to R of state comma action plus gamma, that should be multiplied with the max of Q of next state comma all actions. So Q of 1 comma 5 equal to, that means we have to be apply 1 comma from the state 1 to the 5. So we have to say Q of 1 comma 5 equal to R of 1 comma 5, that should be multiplied with that gamma value already we assigned, that is the 0.8, and we have to be compute with that max of Q of 5 comma 1, Q of 5 comma 4 and Q of 5 comma 5. So these are all that three possibilities from 5 comma 1, 5 comma 4 and then 5 comma 5, and that should be come to it according to the matrix, and 100 plus 0.8 should be multiplied with the max of 0 comma 0 comma 0. So because there is no way, so 100 plus 100 equal to 100. So now the matrix that has been updated this way for the next action. So this episode should be go with that next steps, and then what are all that rewards, and then so what are all that possibilities is there that has been given in that graph. For that next iteration the value for that 3 comma 1 so 3 comma 1 that has been updated with that value of that 80. So this is the reward that has been given when we have to be move from 3 comma 1, and then so what are all the possibilities that has been mentioned there. So either it has to be go for that 1 comma 3 and then so 1 comma 5. So for that the reward that has been computed as 80. So in the same way the episode that has to be continually for the implementation of that Q learning. So now we have to be quickly look over into that Q learning process of that algorithm. That means we have to be quickly go with it what are all the steps that has been involved. Quickly we have to see. Number 1 we have to be go with that Q table initialization, and number 2 observation, number 3 action, and then update. So these are all the 5 steps we have to be continually until to reach out the destination. And now what are all the advantages of that Q learning? The Q learning approach to the reinforcement learning can be for that several reasons, and number 1 is called that model free, and the model free approach is that the foundation of that Q learning and that biggest potential of that advantages of some users. And number 2, of policy optimization. The model can optimize to get the best possible result without being strictly tethered to a policy that might not enable the same degree of that optimization. And then number 3 is called that is the flexibility. The model is having that very much of the flexibility, every possibility of that learning that can enable. There is no need of that policy definition, that is purely the off policy, and it's giving that flexible for that Q learning to work across on that variety of that problems and varieties of that environment. And offline training, that means a Q-learning model can be deployed on a pre-collected or that offline data sets also. There is no need to work on that real-time environment. So if we are having that offline data, so from that offline data also we can able to work on with Q-learning. And the major disadvantages of Q-learning, it can able to work on that very small, that is the cause of that dimensionality and exploration versus of that exploitation trade-off. It has to be hard when we have to be go with that Q-learning, and there may be the possibility of that overestimation, and sometimes when we have to be work on with that large model, it will creates performance issues. So these are all that major drawbacks in that Q-learning. So thank you, you people that has to be stay with us for this entire episode.